Those who were teenagers in the 90s. What piece of technology took you a long time to adapt to during the turn of the century? I didn't want a cell phone because I didn't want to be reachable all the time. Well, that's no longer allowed. Be like me and have no friends. I'm reachable 24/7. But no one ever reaches out. It's great. My phone absolutely never rings unless it's spammers or my wife. Hey, at least you got the wife though. This is why all of my work vacations involve wilderness camping. Even when they don't. For me it's shit like LinkedIn and building a professional social media and networking presence. I'm not really into regular social media, so it's something I never did or built. I didn't understand the importance of a clean social media presence until I was turned down for a job because I used the word fuck online. Holy heck, I have to burn it all now. Reminds me of the company that screenshotted an Instagram post of a job applicant where she's in a bikini. And basically captions it, "This is not a professional photo and that's why you're not hired." The photo was on her personal page and she was at the pool. Unless the applicant posts illegal and truly unethical things, I really don't see why they would reject someone for saying fuck online or posts a picture of themselves in swimwear on their personal social media. I find it incredibly draining to create content to cultivate a social media presence. I don't mind doing it casually, and see immense value in staying connected with people that I'd otherwise not have the ease of access to. But when it comes to being intentional about posts to grow followers, I find it hard to be motivated. Same. The whole building your own personal brand for the sake of your career in LinkedIn, for example, is something I really dislike. The thing about social media is that it is so fake and superficial as it is. And I feel like this is just adding to the issue. The concept of not hiding your identity online, always lie when asked ASL, was drilled into me. So the idea that someone can just mosey on over to Facebook and find your personal information is wild to me. 17F Cali. Cyber, you start. I put on my robe and wizard hat. I said that earlier. When I was a young teen first getting online, two things were drilled into us: never use your real name as your screen name and never give any personal info or meet anyone from online. Now there's an app to meet strangers to fuck from online. Lol. And never get into a stranger's car. I've gotten so comfortable with typing my social security number into a form on a site I've never been to before. There was a time when I would get grounded for telling people on a message board what state I lived in. Voice recognition actually being good and usable is the thing I'm still getting used to. This is a good one. I still assume it's complete garbage, as many early implementations were. I used to get so angry with Alexa. Then I changed the wake-up response word from Alexa to computer. And I find I'm far more patient. It doesn't change the voice. Just the word you say to get it to respond. IDKY, it made me so much more patient when it does mishear me. But it really does. I waited to get a smartphone until almost everyone else my age had one. I always used to say that I don't need to have the internet with me all the time. Once I made the switch though, there was no looking back. I delayed because I knew as soon as I had one I'd be staring at it constantly. This was me too. I didn't get my first smartphone until 2014 and everyone thought I was crazy. Honestly though, I do miss not having one. I feel like I was less lazy because when I was bored I would do stuff. Now I just grab my phone and browse Reddit instead. Same. I think my quality of life has gone down since getting a smartphone. I waste so much more time on the internet now. I hardly watch any TV. Though, I don't have the attention span for it anymore. I think being constantly hooked into the internet ruined that. 2. I should probably take a technology break. The constant availability of a seemingly endless stream of entertainment. In any form. I still can't adapt. I should be sleeping right now. Remember when the TV only showed boring ass shit in the middle of the night? Plus dead channels and scrambled Skinamax. The other night laying in bed I didn't want to watch anything in particular. But I wanted to watch TV. So I go to Pluto and start watching random things. My husband asks me what I'm doing. I'm flipping channels. Sometimes I miss doing that. The discipline to go to bed on time is a daily struggle. Streaming. I like actually owning music. I'm torn by this. I still feel pride in owning my own music. Feels like a personally curated library. But streaming allows me to listen to such a huge variety of music so much more affordably. What annoys me is the service may be gone in 5 years and there may not be any way to rebuild and get every song like I once had. Video calling, Skype, FaceTime. Whatever it's called these days. Well, I still haven't adapted. My younger siblings insist every call must be a video call. Nah dog. I'm good. Seriously. Why do I need to see you to talk with you? Maybe I'm multitasking. Maybe I'm pooping. Greater than maybe I'm pooping. Or masturbating. I don't like using FaceTime or video calling because I'm ugly and I look even worse over FaceTime. Laptops. I remember the old ones my dad would have for work. And how they really sucked compared to the desktop we had. Once they started having them in schools. I still thought they sucked. I guess I knew that they would naturally get better. But the idea that a laptop would ever be powerful enough for things like gaming. Serious computing ability. Or small enough to be carried conveniently. Yeah right. Not anytime soon. Looking back. I know how dumb it was. Considering people have had the same feelings for everything from electricity to the telephone. But at the time, my aversion to them and being dismissive about them really put me at a disadvantage for a few years. Now we have plenty of people who will never own a computer because cell phones. I have a Samsung and DeX isn't great, but I love the idea of it and seeing it become a norm. I work with children and the amount of kids and teenagers who just cannot type at all is seriously shocking. Phones and tablets have seriously hindered children's ability to use computers. Took me a long time to get on board with texting. I remember telling one of my buddies, why would I text you when I can just call you? It's much faster. And I never pick up a call unless it's family or work. Yep. Same here. I thought texting was so stupid. Just a fad. How wrong I was. Constant. Normalized surveillance. I'm still not accustomed to it. And I never will be. My kid is 11 and it blows her mind to hear that there didn't used to be video cameras all over schools, stores, and stoplights. Or that we could go shopping in the airport mall. Or walk right to the gate to meet someone coming in on a flight. We didn't have to worry about data dragnets or deep fakes. Full body scanners or the long-term implication of biometrics and how that data could be weaponized in the future. I think that's the biggest thing teens and early 20s now will never be able to grasp, just how different everything was pre-9/11. Not just the technology, but also the sociological blowback. We used to trust each other so much more. Weren't as suspicious of strangers' motivations, etc. It makes me really sad to think about how normalized it's all become and how there is no going back. Greater than I think that's the biggest thing. Teens and early 20s now will never be able to grasp just how different everything was pre-9/11. I'll die on the hill that 9/11 is the generation marker that defines the millennial and Gen Z demographics. If you can recall 9/11 clearly, you're a millennial. If you can't, you're part of Gen Z. Even with that though, lots of people didn't really experience what things were like before 9/11. You could have been 10 and still remember 9/11 clearly. It doesn't mean you had really experienced what the world was like before then. I had traveled extensively before and since. After 9/11, travel is a totally different thing. Among many other changes, the militarization of police, the polarization of politics, the ease we have in speaking to people on the other side of the planet on a whim. Some of the changes are good. Some are bad. Some are just changes. It makes me wonder what it was like for my parents or grandparents. People who only ever knew post-Vietnam, or post-WW2, or post-Depression. Don't know if it's technology exactly, but it's certainly a byproduct of it, the loss of privacy. Actually, it's not really the loss of privacy that really gets me. It's the loss of the expectation of privacy. Your business was your business. And people kinda respected that. Or they were a nosy bitch. It wasn't really the norm. Until phone cameras and, particularly, 9/11, that your business was government business. Or semi-public business. Or worse yet, potentially profitable entertainment on the internet for a stranger. If I went out with my friends, did stupid shit, not that this ever occurred. Mind you, cough. And then proceeded to keep our damned mouths shut, nobody ever found out about it. It wasn't immortalized in a cell phone pic on Facebook. And if someone asked, and you said, huh? What? Nah, don't know what you're talking about. It felt like people had enough respect for your privacy to not push the issue. It's not social media I hate. It's the attitude that a lot, if not most, people have taken to social media. People post pics or vids of strangers because they were doing something funny or stupid without permission. That's an invasion of someone's privacy, not lol. Film someone dressed weird because you think they're funny looking. You're an asshole who should probably learn to keep your nose out of others' people's business, not an influencer. Entertainer. Or some stupid shit. People treat other people differently. IMO. Since we blurred privacy, news, and entertainment, and I think it's making people more self-conscious and anxious. Just in general, because I think there's an element of kinda always feeling like you might be center stage without realizing it. Dude, you can't even go grocery shopping without some company trying to study your habits now.